Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Well, it sounded very sarcastic. My name is Jennifer Bourne. I am the president of your club this year. Welcome, everybody, our guests and our visiting Rotarians, if we have any, to the Rotary Club of Brentwood. Our inspirational message today will be led by Tom Carr and our pledge and four-way test by Sheila Sheriff. Tom?
You would bow with me, please. Our hearts are full, dear Lord, for the many, many blessings you've given us, for the fertile fields and running rivers of our beloved country, for the time to live and enjoy them, and for the freedom to walk with you if we choose. For all these things, dear Lord, we are eternally grateful to you. Amen.
Please face the flag and do the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance. And the four-way test are the things we think, say, and do first, second, third, fourth.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is Norris Johnson, Jennifer number 4. Just kidding, that'll only go so far. He's going to do the introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians for us.
We have several guests here today. First, let me get Sheila Sheriff. She has some guests, which includes our speaker here today, too. One of our speakers.
Give her the mic. Here you go.
I'll introduce the speaker a little bit later, but I've got my guest, Melissa Wyatt, and she's also my replacement on the school board, but her son, Eli Wyatt will be here to speak a little bit on RILA.
Did you introduce her, the father of Eli? Yeah, let's get the whole family in here. Chris, would you stand up, please? Chris, Lucy. Chris is the father of Eli, who is receiving an award for going to RILA. He'll get into that in a few minutes later. Lucy is the sister. So they had to sit at separate tables and had a little argument going on. Thank y'all for being. Claudia, you have a guest.
Thank you, Norris. I'm excited to introduce my boss and executive director of Morning Point of Brentwood. This is Molly Patton, and she is in the process now of becoming a Rotarian here. So we're real excited about that. She's an amazing woman that I've enjoyed working with for the last few months, and she has a background in speech therapy. She has a few kiddos, one of which is a movie star right now because she's in a play at school. But you're going to love her. She is all the fun at Morning Point of Brentwood, and she'll be in the pipeline because I am leaving Rotary. Next week will be my last week because she kicked me out of Morning Point. No, I'm kidding. She didn't. But I won't be in Williamson County anymore.
We'll hate losing you, Claudia. And we also have another special guest who is a Rotarian from a distance away, Gladys Gonzalez. Please stand, please. She is Rotarian from Colombia, South America. So welcome, Claudia. That's it.
Okay. All right. A couple announcements before we get into our program, because we've got 2 programs for you today, just like we did last week, which was fantastic. Community grants are due when? Right now. You have till the end of the meeting. So if you have a community grant, please give it to Lennis before you leave today. There will be no late submissions, I was told. Just kidding. That is true though. Another thing is community service. You guys, we served this past Saturday at Brentwood Baptist with One Gen. It was so great. There was a lot of people there, a lot of Rotarians and other people. If you would like to do more service opportunities, we have a in Reflections, a ways to serve section that will give you a multiple different opportunities. There is more coming closer to us, May 15th, May 16th, and June 6th. So one's going to be in Nashville and one will be in Antioch. So if you have those dates open, just keep an eye on the section and more information will come through that. Larry, do you have any information on the golf tournament? Oh, good.
We had 47 RSVPs. We set 56 tables. This man right here is my last man that might have a chair. So we got one up here. So guys, driving me crazy, you guys. Okie dokie. So golf tournament wise, Monday of this week, I contacted our team captains and I asked them to contact their members, give them some information on things that we needed, particularly those renewing sponsorships. And I'm sure everybody in here got a call from or got a contact from their team captain. I'm not going to ask if you got a call or not, but I'm sure that you did. You're supposed to have. Hunter McCarty sent out a great email to his team, listed all the sponsorships that were outstanding, listed on his team who had those sponsors, and within about 2 days, he had 2 sponsors sold by his team members, totaling $1,700. Steve Huff, who's also not here today, has been working on one sponsor for a while and has been trying to upsell the guy on his sponsorship. And Thursday, we got an increase. His sponsorship was $1,000 last year. He sold him $1,500 this year. So we had $3,200 this year. This week as a result, hopefully, of my call on Monday. Again, I hope your team captain has called you and has got you working on it. That's $3,200 this week, which is an okay week. Not a great week, but it's an okay week. My message to y'all is to continue to call your sponsors that you had last year. We have a list of them that are out there that people have not called yet. Please call them and get them to re-sign. Obviously, new sponsors, we love new sponsors. Get all the new sponsors you had. To date, we've had 26 members sell. 26 members. I looked at the roster this morning. We have 105 members in our club. So there's 79 people out there who've not done anything yet, and I'm waiting for you to start working. So the 79 of you who might be here today, please get on this and get something going. We've got time. We got plenty of time, but there's, as I told y'all a month ago, there's 100 golf tournaments in Nashville, Middle Tennessee going on the same time as ours between now and then. So people are out asking the same thing we're asking. Let's don't be last in line trying to get a sponsorship. We've got plenty of time. Work on those sponsors that you had last year, and I'll give you another report next week. Thank you.
All right. If you guys have any questions about how to sell a sponsorship or just want any coaching, let us know that too. Larry's going to do some more next week, but I know that's not always easy to ask. And so if you want any information, please just get with us.
Or we want help on that. Where's Jared? Ask Jared. Talk to Jared.
There you go. All right. Last announcement, social June 13th at my house. So please put that a date. I'm going to tell you every week and hopefully all of y'all will be there. Next up is Happy Bucks. Curry is going to be leading us in Happy Bucks today.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike, Larry called me and said that I had to shape up. I called all 19 of my people from last year and they all agreed. So I'm all set.
I wanted to announce this for the last couple of weeks, but we've been so busy. I had my first grandchild and she was 3 weeks old now and her name is Poppy and my new name is Lolly.
Poppy and Lolly. You're spoiled her already. We're going happy here. You don't have your hockey shirt on. Maybe you better become an investor, I guess. Anybody here? Yeah, Ellen.
So here's the five.
I think you're going.
Oh, give this to me. It's terrible. I do that for my son who met a girl 4 days on campus at Belmont, and they get married tomorrow. So 5 days.
It sounded like, Norris, it sounded like you said they met 5 days ago, 4 days, they met. Yeah. He said they met 4 days ago and got married on the 5th day, didn't he? Anybody?
As many of you know, the primary wrapped up this week and Brentwood showed up and showed out. Thank you to Brentwood for actually showing up to vote. I love that our community knows how important our local elections are to impacting our day-to-day lives. But second, shout out to Tom Tunnicliffe. He won his primary.
Big time.
This is the first meeting I've been to since the first meeting in December. Oh, is that? Okay. Oh, that's even better. So it's sure nice to be back. I see a lot of new faces, see a lot of familiar faces that I haven't seen in 6 months or so. But I look forward to meeting all the new members and those that are aspiring to become members of a great club.
I'm super happy Jeff's here. I have some great news for a member. We all know Chuck Blackburn resigned from the club to go through advanced Alzheimer's treatment. And he reported to me 2 weeks ago that they did the whole cycle. He's off the cycle. There's been no progression. In fact, he feels like there's been improvement, measurable improvement. So we should all give thanks to God about that.
Is he coming back? Is he coming back? That's good news, though. We'd like Chuck, husband of our new governor.
I'm putting two in, one to welcome Jeff back. I'm glad to see him. And I am also a grandmother as of October, first time.
You're too young.
And I want to thank Curry Andrews for helping my parents. They got hit in a car wreck right here on Concord Road last Sunday night. Totaled the car. Curry's already found them a new one, used one, new used one. Pre-owned. Taking care of him. He's done a great job. I highly recommend Curry, of course.
Thank you. Did you run out of money?
I did. 12 bucks is big in my budget.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. All
right. All right. Thank you guys. There is a Rotary Bowling League as well. Are we able to go and cheer you guys on? Okay. So we'll communicate some more information about that so we can, Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, I think the leagues are set, but we can go and cheer on our fellow Rotarians. I think starting at the end of this month, right?
Tuesday starts on Tuesday.
Oh.
And the Thursday starts a week from Thursday.
Oh, so it's this week and next week. All right. And now we're going to move on to our program. We have two programs for you today, and Sheila is going to come up and introduce the first portion of our and the second, but go ahead and do the first. Thank you, Sheila.
I'd like to introduce Eli Wyatt. He is, he participated in RILA this last year, and so he's going to give us a little information on his experience with RILA.
All right. Hello. Yes, as she said, my name is Eli Wyatt. I'm a junior at Brentwood High School. And first off, I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to go to RILA last summer. It was really meaningful for me. And I've known about the Rotary for a long time. I run cross country at Brentwood High School. So I've been sitting under the pavilion in Granny White Park for like half my life. But this was my first time to really get involved, and it was really an amazing experience. So I just wanted to thank you for that. So RILA stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. It was 5 days at Austin Peay State University with about 80 new friends from across the state. I didn't know anyone else going before I attended. I saw one person there from my high school, but other than that, it was all new people. So one of the most important parts about it for me was just an opportunity to meet new people. And there's a lot of people from RILA that I still keep in touch with. Everybody there was in high school, but we're from all across the state, so we have a lot of different stories. So it's fun to hear about things that are similar and things that are different, with just a lot of people going through a lot of things. So that's really important for me. And then the adults were amazing. They were just very supportive of us. When we got there, we didn't really know anybody, but my leader, her name was Kit. She told me that it was her favorite week of the year. And I was just like, wow, this is going to be amazing if this means so much to her. And it was. So they were really great. We worked on our leadership skills there. That was what it was for. The adults were kind of the perfect mix of we're here for you and you can figure this out on your own. So they really did a great job. An example of one of the challenges was we had to do a high ropes course, which the military actually trains on, which I feel like I'm a pretty athletic guy, but balance is one thing that I do not have. So that was that was a little scary for me, but the adults helped us use our teamwork to work through it. We were all tied together. So if one person fell, we all fell, but we also all succeeded together. So that was just really important and I feel like a good life lesson. And then at the end, every group, we were in groups of about 12 to 15 students, and every group had to come up with about a 3-minute skit. And for some people, that is just their dream. And for some people, that's their worst nightmare to have to get up and perform in front of everybody. But they taught us that if we were having fun on stage, people would have fun watching us. And it worked out that way. We had a great time and it was really good. So I felt like that's something that I got to learn from RILA, and just learning how to make things awesome is something that I've taken into my daily life at Brentwood. I'm in a club called DECA at Brentwood High School, which is for students who are interested in business, and we compete in different events. I was on a team with 2 other guys this year, and we hosted the first student-led after-school event at Brentwood High School. It was a silent disco party, and it was a fundraiser for Tennessee Baptist Children's Home. We knew that teenagers are hesitant to commit to new things sometimes. Nobody wants to be outside the norm. So we had to show our enthusiasm first to encourage others to attend. And when we did, a lot of people showed up and we had a really great time. So I feel like, and we raised a lot of money for a good cause. So I feel like that's something that I owe to RILA, and all the things I learned there were really helpful. And then another thing I learned, it just helped make me more outgoing. I feel like now I want to go meet people and go hear about them. I was kind of nervous with all new people, but my leaders taught me that, people most of the time want to meet you and want to talk to you. So just going up and making those connections can be really important, and just bringing a little light to somebody's day. And then finally, I learned about just, you never know what somebody's story is. I feel like there's just a lot of things that you can judge off looking at somebody, but a lot of times that's not true. So just, respecting people and learning about them before you think things was really important. And that's something that I learned at RILA. And all of these skills of leadership, friendship, and empathy that I learned there are going to suit me well. I plan to be a religion major in college. So wherever I am and whoever I get to serve, I'll owe a lot of the things I know and the skills that I have to RILA. So that's really important for me. And I'm really glad to be here with you today. Thank you for supporting opportunities like this for our students. It was really meaningful for me, and thank you for the chance to go.
Okay, I don't know why I even have to write this down. I've known Rick for quite a while. He served on the school board with me. He was a school board member for 12 years. But it wasn't until just when I went off that I found out that he actually has other talents other than being on the school board. And I go, why didn't I know this? Well, I know why I didn't know it, because we're not able to talk to each other as school board members because of sunshine laws. So we never really got to know each other until afterwards. But Rick is an actor on camera and a voiceover. He's a storyteller. He does audiobooks, and he has done a national TV commercial. And he is, as you all know him from Rick is how it was originally posted on them, but it's not Rick. It's Rick. But I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Rick Wimberly.
Thank you, Sheila. Sheila, you didn't tell me I was going to have to follow Eli. You're a tough ass to follow. And I'm a performer, as Sheila said. We don't like to be upstaged, Eli, but I think you did it. Thank you. So I'm a 70-year-old fellow who's been in Williamson County for 40 years. And I came to Nashville for the radio business. Hang on a second. I haven't done one of these slides in a long time. Came to Nashville in the radio business, but we ended up in Williamson County for the schools, of course. And I'm very honored to have served on the school board for 12 years, which is where I met Sheila. Good times, huh? Good times. You think so, Melissa? Oh, you just wait. You just wait. So Williamson County schools in Williamson County have been very good to the Wimberly family. 5 kids all got their start in education here. They all have degrees and things, a couple of Ivy League school degrees. They all have good jobs, and I'm quite proud of them. My wife has taught at Walnut Grove Elementary for, I really don't know how long, but I do believe she's been in that school for almost every day that school's been open. She's there today. She's having a hard time understanding what retirement is. So she goes pretty hard. Yep. You can tell the county has been good to us through our 4 kids. If you don't mind, I'm going to brag on them just a little bit. They're all quite accomplished, and you can't ask me about myself without me talking about my 4 kids. 3 of them are gainfully employed in the music business, and that's not a sentence you hear very often, gainfully employed in the music business. But they are. One of my sons is a record producer in New York, has about 150 credits to his name. And I saw him quoted in New York Times yesterday. I've never been quoted in New York Times, but he has. Another one is a senior official with Berklee College of Music in Boston, and his wife is too. And I looked so hard for this morning, but he originally studied music therapy, and somehow or another, he ended up in India speaking to mostly Rotary clubs about music therapy and autism. And I've got this great picture of him that I wish I could have found. He went in one of the Rotary clubs. They took a picture of all the Rotarians and my son. And my son is quite tall. He's very white. And man, he stood out among those Rotarians. But they all had this kind of stoic look on their faces for some reason. And he had that same look on his face. And that's one of my great treasures is Davis in India speaking to the Rotary Club there. I have a daughter who has spent her career helping entertainers and songwriters get paid. And she's worked with a lot of big names over the years. Her favorite, of course, Dolly Parton. Her least favorite, Well, I'm not going to tell you that. So, oh, and my other daughter, she's in education, and of all places, Mexico City after a stint in China. And she's quite a joy. And they all have wonderful, wonderful spouses. And this probably won't be the last time I mentioned this. We have 5 grandkids. They're scattered all over creation, but there are 5 of them. It's a good job. You're going to like that. And don't be surprised if I mention that again. Now me. So out of that family of accomplishments, I'm the only one who doesn't have a college degree, although I have helped pay for lots of college degrees. And that used to be kind of a sensitive point for me. But I am the only one in the family who's met most of the presidents of his life. I'm the only one in the family who's been lost at sea and found. Thank you, Coast Guard. And I'm the only one in the family who's jumped into a freezing lake over and over and over on national TV. When that commercial ran a couple of years ago, I heard from friends and family from all over the country. One of my besties contacted me from Georgia, and he said, you know, I'd know that behind from anywhere. I'm told my behind got 642 million television views, and you're going to add one to it. Here's the commercial.
You don't stop being you just because you turned 65. But you do face more risk from someone COVID. Last year alone, those viruses hospitalized nearly 1 million people 65 and older. 1 million.
That's me.
Vaccines lower your risk of getting really sick. So you can keep doing you.
Did anybody see that? Yeah, good. Thank you. I'm glad you did. I never saw it. So, how did I end up on national TV, jumping in a cold, cold lake over and over and over? They didn't show even a part of it. And when we finished the final shot, and they were pretty comfortable, they had, every time we did a take, there were people surrounding us with towels and hair dryers and really making us comfortable. But after that last take, when we went to get up out of the water, there was nobody on the dock. They had all gone up the hill to get warm. And I yelled, could you at least throw us a towel? So we got a couple of towels thrown to us. So here's my story. When I was 13 years old, my parents ran a paint store, Sherwin-Williams paint store, in the little town of Cochran, Georgia, right smack dab in the middle of the state. Everybody know where Cochran is? I didn't think so. Huh? You know where Georgia is, right? So anyway, the radio station that was located right across from the paint store wanted to buy some paint. And so my dad was to deliver the paint. And I hung out at the paint store a lot. And so he said, you want to walk with me over to the radio station? I said, sure. I walked into this radio station, and within minutes, I knew that there was nothing I wanted to do for the rest of my life other than being in a radio station. Imagine this, you're surrounded by all of these buttons and knobs and dials, and you have a turntable on the left side of you and another turntable on the right side of you, and you sit there alone talking to yourself for 4 hours at a time. I mean, who could beat that? And when I turned 15, I got my first job at that huge radio station in that little town, WVMG in Cochran, 96.7 FM, 1440 AM, home of the Middle Georgia Warriors. And then I went on to other markets and was in larger markets, and I was known as Rick in the Morning or Rick in the Morning. somehow or another, I ended up working for the television station that I had watched all my life, WMAZ-TV in Macon, Georgia. You know where Macon is. This station had, and I think still does, some of the largest market shares of any radio station in the country, among the most. Not the largest audiences, but market shares. There's just not a lot of people in Middle Georgia. I'm the guy on the left, the young guy with the mustache. I thought growing up that the people who anchored the news on Channel 13 were just a step below the mighty Walter Cronkite. I didn't dare dream that one day I would be one of those newscasters. And I would learn that the news anchors on Channel 13 are many, many steps below Walter Cronkite. After about 20 years in broadcasting, I stumbled kind of out of the business that I loved and just knew I would do for the rest of my life. And new adventures occurred. As it turned out, I was pretty good at selling stuff to the government. Even co-authored a book on the 7 myths of selling to government and hosted a podcast on that with Lauren Bristow, who has spent quite a bit of time in Brentwood. Now, if you want to know what these myths are, if you're trying to sell to the government, then buy the book, listen to the podcast, or just ask me for the special Brentwood Rotary rate, no charge, assuming that I can remember that. I traveled all over the world selling things to the government. And one day I found myself in India sitting on a couch with the commander, the top official of the Indian Army, just he and me on this couch, and all of these generals sitting behind us. And I was thinking, how in the world did Rick Wimberly from Cochrane, Georgia, get all the way over here at India, sitting next to one of the most powerful men in the world? And what in the heck is this green stuff I'm drinking? I never did find out. I did a good bit of work for the government too. You know that system that wakes you up in the middle of the night? Don't you love that? I get some of the blame. I was hired by FEMA to develop the outreach plan for what's called the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System, or as you know it, that dadgum system that wakes me up in the middle of the night. We wrote the outreach program for it, and I understand it's still in use. And I hear those alerts have saved a lot of lives, and all we have to do is wake up in the middle of the night every once in a while. So I did this for a number of years, and then I ended up as CEO of a company in Nashville called Bold. And as I am wont to do, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted a new adventure. So I resigned my job at Bold. And the last thing I did on the last day I was there, I sent an email to all of our employees saying, because of this weird health situation going on, we want you to work away from the office for the next 3 or 4 days. And little did I know, and little did we know, it would be more than 3 or 4 days. So there I was. I didn't really have a job. And trust me, the school board, they don't pay enough money to feed a family. You get, probably enough money to, in our case, pay for gas back then, running around doing ribbon cuttings at all the schools that were opening. So I said, what am I going to do? And I thought back to my passion as being a performing broadcaster. So I hung out a shingle to be a voice actor. And Sheila, you remember this face? That's my COVID face. This is what I had when we were doing those online board meetings. And little did you know, or anybody else know, I often had my hair pulled up in a ponytail. So there I am. I named myself Grand Dude because that's what my grandkids all call me, Grand Dude. You got a cool name too, but mine wins. And so I started getting voice acting jobs, commercials, this and that and the other, through a variety of means. And let me just give you a little sampling of what some of these are.
Wait a minute. Is this heaven? Hot nights, cold snacks. I remember the summer of 1969 like it was yesterday. Well, that's the thing about the West. It doesn't belong to any man. There's no toilet paper. And you need to, well, you know. Well, hey guys, who likes chocolate? Planning for the future isn't about predicting the weather. It's about building a house that can stand the storm. Oh, the elixir of eternal night, brewed with the essence of shadows and despair. There's a specific kind of quiet you only find at 4 a.m. Let's just agree that most of this is a big misunderstanding. The shooting, the horses, the dynamite, oh, just really an unfortunate coincidence, I swear.
Yep. All of those characters were me. Surprised me that they came out probably as much as you may have been surprised. So I was doing voice work, and this shot here was on one of the casting websites. Casting directors go there to look for people, et cetera, et cetera. It's called Backstage. And a guy who was producing a musical contacted me and saw the picture, listened to some of the voice demos, and said, we're doing this musical called Best Thing About Christmas, and we'd like for you to audition. I said, musical on stage? I had no intentions of being on stage, and I sure had no intentions of singing. It was my fear. I'm a fairly confident guy in front of people, but singing just scares the you-know-what out of me. I did it in high school a little bit. So I kind of dug deeply, and I found a song that I thought I could sing. It was a Willie Nelson song. He doesn't have a whole lot of range, so I figured I could mumble through a Willie Nelson song. I got some good coaching. And I auditioned for the job, and I'll be dadgum if I didn't get it, oddly enough. And so I said, I guess I'm committed. So I hadn't sung since high school. I was in high school in Cochran, Georgia, class of 1973. Anybody else from the class of 1973? Yes, yes. That surprises me. So we had this drama teacher at Cochran High. And one day she knocked on my classroom door and she said, Rick, or back then it was Ricky. She said, we're doing a musical and we want you to audition for a part. And I said, Mrs. Henderson, I'm not doing a musical. I can't sing. I won't sing. You can't make me sing. And she said, well, Ricky, you're the only one in the school who can play this part, and there won't be any singing. That was the first lie she told me. And I said, so, all right, what's the part? She said, the devil. I said, oh, yeah, I'll be there, particularly if I don't have to sing. So I played the part of Applegate, the devil, and the musical Damn Yankees. And she had lied to me. I did have to sing. And then the next year, something similar happened. I said, Mrs. Henderson, I'm not going through that again. Well, you really don't have to sing. And I do have a part that only you can play. And I said, yeah, I've been through this before. I said, what's the part? The con man in Oklahoma. I couldn't resist. So I auditioned for it. And for some reason or another, I got the job. And I, over the years have wondered if I would ever get up the nerve to sing in front of somebody. I mean, I'm not talking about singing in front of a crowd, but I won't even sing at church. I just kind of move my mouth. Some of you do that probably. My wife had never heard me sing. I just wouldn't do it. But here we were 50 years later, and I got that request from best thing about Christmas. So by the time I had sung in 10 shows that we did over a month, all over the state, I got kind of confident with it. You want me to sing for you today? Not going to happen. So about the same time that this producer saw my picture, there was a director, a film director who saw it, and he was producing a short film called Cardboard Memories, and it was the story of the old guy, and I do get asked to play old guys mostly, well, pretty much exclusively. An old guy who was taking his baseball card collection and showing it to his grandson. And I said, you know, is there singing? They said, no singing. I said, okay, I'm in. And so I'm going to play you a little bit of this. It's kind of touching. Started this collection when I was about your age. And I was hoping that maybe someday it could be yours.
Well, what do they do?
They hold memories. Memories that are bigger than me. Those guys, they were giants. They were superheroes, you know, often some distant and they just believe you could do anything. So that's what they do. They hold memories. The guy who played the young guy, Will, and I, when we were doing some of these scenes, got the crew choked up. And they came from behind the cameras and they had, you know, tears in their eyes. And I said, man, it was all, his name, Dawson. It was all Dawson. I said, when I looked into his eyes and said these beautiful words that they had written, I mean, I couldn't help. It choked me up. And, you know, that was part of the show. So I didn't know until the final cut of the film that I would die at the end. That seems to happen a lot to me. I die in the end. So here's an example of some of the work that I've done over the last few years.
My price. If I ever let spreadsheets do the negotiations.
It's not just the model, sir. It's a real risk if we overextend ourselves on this.
This company was built on risk. I'm not going to stop taking them down. To the deal.
I don't expect much, so I don't complain. Yeah, I got everything. I got you.
You work through it. That's just what you do. Long days, hard seasons.
You need to measure. Too heavy to hold.
Hey there.
Hey, Joe.
Where's it from? That's my favorite. I think I need to stop working.
Why?
I can't remember how this got here.
Too many ships between us and them. They will blow.
Oh, that guy and this guy later.
One eye. Man the cannon. Fire! I said fire!
She used to sit there. My wife. You know what your trouble is, son? You love to make threats. If you don't do this, then this will happen. If you don't do that, then that will happen. I don't make threats. I just do. I got to hit a guy. I'd never hit a guy before. There's a story behind each of these clips. I won't give you all those stories, but these two kids I had worked with before, and now I've worked with young Atticus 3 times. In fact, when I met him on the day we shot this, he said, yes, I played you. I said, you look a little young to be playing me. And he was the pitcher in the Cardboard Memories, and that supposedly was my character as a young fellow. And Katie, the wonderful Katie, she and I have now worked together on 5 different productions. She is incredible, and they tell me, I'm going to show you this music video. It's a Michael W. Smith music video, and I'm going to show you that. And the director, the wonderful Harrison Shook, who had hired me for Cardboard Memories, said she pretty much directed the scene that's hers. It's for a song called Arms Around the Sun.
Too big to measure.
There's going to be a quiz at the end.
Too heavy to hold. Too deep to fathom. Too bright to behold.
Oh, I don't die in this one.
Thunder so with the angel. And the angel changed my name. Lay down in the river's edge. Will never be the same. And I'm gonna try and figure you out. Do you know? Silence.
So usually when you wrap at the end of the day, you're giving each other high fives, but nobody is taking selfies. Nobody's asking autographs, even if you have big names in it. So we had wrapped on this shoot in this gorgeous studio. We were surrounded by all of these psychedelic effects. And there was a line behind the drummer, and people were getting selfies with the drummer. And I asked Ed Nash, my good friend who played my son, I said, Ed, who is that guy everybody's getting selfies from? He looked at me like I was really stupid. And he said, Rick, that's Jesus. I said, Well, I knew this was going to be a cool day. I wasn't quite expecting that. So the guy, do you recognize him? Anybody seen the TV show The Chosen? This is Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus in The Chosen. And he's a fine drummer, as you could tell. So, I mean, all of these things, there's a little bit of story behind it. So I just started out doing some voiceovers, and then I became what they call a working regional actor. And that's kind of cool. I've done films, I've done music videos, I've worked with extremely talented people, just a relatively short time. And so now I'm a working regional actor. Now, being an actor really means you're an auditioner. You do a lot of auditions. I did one this morning before I came here. But the rewards are great. Not the money, but the rewards are really good. So here's the lesson, or so it seems to me. If you keep saying yes to new adventures and to your high school drama teacher, despite her lying ways, then rewards just have a way of finding you. And to me, a 70-year-old granddude, it's a fine, fine way to stay young. And I wish that for you too. Sheila promised me everybody would get up at 1 o'clock and leave. Goodbye.
Thank you, Rick. The Rick was my mistake. So so thank you for that. Okay, if you wouldn't mind, Rick, just because I can't wait to tell the kids when we read to elementary kids here in Brentwood about it. Okay, thank you to our guests. I did not get all your names. So from Columbia, thank you for joining us all the way, Molly. And then I think the other guests are all of Eli's family, right? Did I miss anybody, Norris? He's not paying attention. Okay, so thank you. If I did, I'm very sorry. And we are so glad that you are here today. Next week is Derek Solomon, the Executive Director of Hard Bargain Association. So next week, that is May 15th. The week after, which is the Friday before Memorial Day, mark your calendars. We're not meeting. We give you a break. Go enjoy the holiday weekend. I'll remind you about that next week, but please be here next week. All right, I think that's all I've got. Any questions? Welcome back. So good to see you. It's been months and we're really thrilled that you're better and that you're back. So thank you. And please say hi to Jeff on your way out. All right. I think that's it. Stacks of 8 up against, not against the wall. And for the good of it, not against the wall.